and welcome to Life Less Ordinary. This morning we're going to be spending some time doing some chores around the yard. Because of a few different circumstances, we haven't been able to spend a great deal of time like we would normally do this time of year in the yard. So we're just going to try and get on top of things this morning. So first order of business is moving the chickens. So they've been there in that spot probably for 2 weeks. Now, we wouldn't normally like to keep them for that long in that space, but like I said, because of circumstances, we haven't really been around. So the intention is to move them from there over to this area here. Now, I'm not sure whether you can see that very well, but down the back there isn't a lot of grass. It has been quite dry already here, so there's not a lot of grass there. So the plan is to move them over to a section where there is at least some grass there that they can scratch around in. We do provide, given the time of year, we do provide a lot of produce from the garden in terms of green leafy vegetables for them to peck at. They also do get their fermented feed each day as well, but being able to scratch around in the ground to be able to eat any of the insects in the soil, that's a good thing. So we're moving them from there. The other thing we'll be doing is dealing with the glut of produce that I have here in terms of my my seedlings. It is time to be able to plant tomatoes and the melons and pumpkins out, so we're going to try and get that done as well. Here goes. So what's happening here is we did have a couple of the chickens separated off, and Salome's just pulling that area down because we have joined them in with the other chickens in the last couple of days. So we're pulling that down and we'll put it over to the side for when we do need it again. We're planning to hatch some chicks beginning of December, so it will need to be used again then, but in the meantime we'll put it out of the way. Tobes is collecting up all of the wood. Now you'll see that we've got all this wood here. We really have struggled with keeping chickens in. We clip one of their wings so that they're not flying out, but they just manage to dig their way out. So our way at the moment of dealing with that is the wood that we have chopped up ready in the wood pile gets used to secure the fencing. They still get out, but we do what we can. So we've also got a whole heap of wood that was brought over from a tree that we dropped across the road, which we're not necessarily going to deal with and chop up just yet coming into summer, but we do want to put it somewhere else so that it's not in the walkway coming down the side of the house. So the intention is to get all these big bits of wood and put them here so that they're out of the way and not so close to the house, because wood piles often tend to attract snakes, and we're expecting a hot summer with the property next door just being redeveloped. At least it's doesn't have really high grass, so the likelihood of snakes is reduced. However, putting the wood pile further away from the house is a safer option than having it up there and having snakes near the house. So that's our other job for today, is moving all that wood. So we've also realised in planning to put the wood pile over there that I had planted some blueberries there and only one has survived. So we're going to move it out here so it's out of the way. So I'm digging a hole to put some soil down. These are a good spot for the blueberries because we are right under a pine tree. Blueberries like acidic soil. Pine trees create acidic soil, so you plant where things are going to grow best. So you can tell I've tried to get that as much intact as possible, given that it's probably already starting to try and flower, so we're trying not to disturb it. And this really is, I mean, it's for mulch to moisture retention, but it's also to try and alert everyone to the fact that there are baby trees here. Please do not walk over the top of them or mow over the top of them, which is what happens. Now just to try and keep the chickens out of them when they escape from their chickens. In moving some of this wood, we've actually disturbed home of this winter. He's making his way back up, but he will have to be disturbed again because we are just working on that path. So we started using the chainsaw, however it stopped working. It'll need to go in to get serviced because Dean couldn't get it going again. We've done a little bit of chopping up some thinner wood with one of these saws down here, and Dean's been chopping with an axe to add more to our wood pile for next winter. But we're just taking the bigger ones down to where we said that we were going to put them the other side of the shed, just so they're out of the way and we can deal with them coming into winter next year. And by then, hopefully, the chainsaw's repaired. As you can see, we have managed to clear this whole area here. Stack next winter's wood neatly, and down here we have made a couple of piles of the tree stumps and limbs and whatever, according to size and according to what needs to be done. So this will need the chainsaw when we get it fixed. This just needs to be chopped with an axe, and most of this here we can use for kindling in the fire, or once the fire season is finished, in the fire pit over there. Anyway, we didn't quite get to the seedlings, which is what I was hoping we would do, but we did get a lot of work done, so I'm happy with that. The backyard is just that much tidier and a bit safer. The couple of blue tongues that we found in the wood pile have found new homes, but when we have blue tongues it means that we're less likely to have snakes, so we're happy with the blue tongues. Anyway, hopefully you found this interesting. Thanks for joining us as we live our life less ordinary.